What's up guys, Random Racer here with another tech video for you guys today, and today we're going to check out one of the best dash cams available on the market, and that is this 2-channel BlackVue dash cam. So of course, without further ado, let's slice this open, test it out, and give you guys my quick in-depth review. So for those of you who order this from BlackVue, they do a pretty good job at packing it all together. In this case, we have two boxes here, one for the camera, as well as another one for the battery pack. Alright, so first off, let's unbox the dash cam. The camera comes in pretty high quality packaging, which slide the top open. And the first thing that we're introduced with is the dash cam, as well as the rear dash cam. Sliding these out, we have your quick start guide, a box full of your accessories, which are neatly packed together. We have a very long cable to attach the rear camera to the front camera. And inside here you have your cable mounts as well as your tool to help lift weather stripping to try and hide the cables, 3M stickers to stick the camera onto your windows, as well as in my case a 32GB micro SD card. And one last thing in here is the power connector to connect the camera to your car. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the design of the BlackVue 750 series camera here. We'll just take a bit more packaging off. There's a protective plastic cover for the lens, and another piece of clear plastic around the camera body. Alright, so taking a closer look at the design here, it's pretty similar to the 650 series for those of you who are familiar with BlackVue products. However, it's mostly on the inside that features a lot of upgraded components. One thing I like about this design is that it's simple, compact, and blended really nicely if you place this in front of your rear view camera. And the rear camera is even smaller, and the reason for that is because the front camera has the GPS, the Wi-Fi, and all that stuff built in, where the rear camera is just the camera that connects to the front. Take a quick overview of the exterior. You have this lock button here to adjust the angle of the camera, which you can set at 360 degrees. You have the camera lens on the front, a bunch of vent ports on the top. On the other side, you have a GPS light, your recording light, as well as your speaker. On the other side here, you have your proximity sensor, which you can switch between turning your audio on and off, or to set recording on and off. And basically how the proximity sensor works is you just wave your hand over it. There's also a Wi-Fi light, which blinks to let you know you're connected to the internet. And on the other side here, you have your rear camera port, your power port, a physical button here, which is your Wi-Fi/format button. And there is a cover, which you can just pop off like so. It is still attached to the camera, so you don't easily lose it, for the micro SD card. Now, depending on where you're parking something like this, you may not want to leave hanging in your dash window 24/7, so BlackVue does make this really easy to take off. You just hold the lock button down, and it pops out like so. Now, when you pop it out, this does also reveal the Wi-Fi password, which is specific for this camera. Here's a closer look at the rear camera here, and as I mentioned, it is smaller because it doesn't have all the components the front camera has. You have your mounts right here, which you can swivel up and down just like the front lens, your video input to connect this to the front camera. There's also a built-in LED security light which stays on all the time on all recording modes. However, you can turn that off via the BlackVue app. Now, for those of you who are used to dash cams having a built-in LCD screen, you don't have one on this here, and the advantage of that is that you have a much more compact camera that doesn't take up as much real estate on your windshield. So instead, if you want to view playback or see a live view of the camera, you can download the app on your iPhone or Android device. And the great thing about the app is that, like I mentioned, you have live view. You can also save and download recordings onto your phone. And because this dashcam has BlackVue's new cloud feature, you can save and record onto the cloud. Alright, so let's take a quick unboxing and look at the BlackVue Power Magic battery pack, which is something that you can use to take advantage of the parking mode feature on your BlackVue dashcam. Alright, so popping this open, we have the battery pack, which is quite big actually. And continuing on, we have a few more accessories that go along with it. And basically what we get here is the cable adapter to plug your dashcam, and this goes into the battery. And then a power cable here that attaches the battery to your car, so when your car is running, it recharges the battery. We also have some 3M Velcro tape here, so you can still remove the battery pack in case you need to without having to strip the tape on and off. An alternative to attaching this to your car is using the 4 screws included. And last but not least is your instruction guide and warranty information. One of the nice things about the BlackVue dashcam is that BlackVue has its own app that you can actually connect to your camera. Now, because the camera has Wi-Fi, it has much better range than using Bluetooth. In addition, it's much more easier to go through your videos as well as play with the settings than it is on a dashcam with a tiny LCD screen. Now you can see here the app isn't only available for the iPhone or smartphones, but also on the iPad. And again, you can see here the app for the iPhone is also just the same. So to access your dashcam from the app here, you have to make sure your iPhone is connected to the dashcam's Wi-Fi. And like I showed you guys earlier, the password is on the sticker on the actual dashcam, so make sure you save that once you connect it the first time around. Next, we're going to select BlackVue Wi-Fi to connect directly to the dashcam. So you can see here all your videos are here. They're broken up into 1 minute intervals. So for example, a 20-minute car ride, you're going to have 20 different clips. It's all going to be there, but broken up into clips. And as far as I'm aware of, there's actually no way of extending each clip. So for example, if you rather have 5-minute intervals or 10-minute intervals, you can't do that. The only upside with having 1-minute interval clips is that when you throw the SD card from the dashcam into your computer, it's kind of easier to find where something happened by looking at all the different thumbnails. So back to the app here, one of the nice things about this app is that say you get into an accident or something, you can go to your app here, download the clip and show the police officer or something that it wasn't your fault or you didn't run a red light or something. And you can download that actual video clip, so we'll just hit the download button. So it is nice that not only you can view the video clips, but also download them directly to your phone. Once your video is downloaded, we can go back to the main menu, hit internal memory, and our video clip is right here. So here's the video clip here. This is from the rear dash cam. You can skim through it. You can also pause and play. Pretty simple. There's also a slow-mo button here, so you can slow down an accident or something that you may have caught on your camera. Like I mentioned, it's a really useful tool to have to easily pull your videos from your dash cam right on the spot. So back to the app here, there's also a live view button, so if you hit the camera button on the bottom. And here is a live view of the car right now, which you can see my windshield's covered up with snow. If we hit this button here, this will take us to the rear camera, which you can see behind it, which is a little bit clearer. And the last thing I want to show you here are the settings. So if you go to your settings button, go to firmware settings. And you can see here, this is all your basic controls for manually setting the time, sensitivity for the G sensors, motion sensors. You can turn off the LED warning lights that are on the dash cams. And basically, this is just a much more refined, smoother, and easier way to play around with the actual settings than a full-fledged crappy operating system on the actual cameras, which some of the cheaper brands use. The only thing about the app here is that when you change the settings on the app, the camera needs to restart in order to save and implement those settings. So you kind of lose your Wi-Fi connection and then you have to connect to it again. It's a minor inconvenience, but the app is definitely worthwhile to use. One final thing I want to show you guys is the BlackVue cloud feature. And basically this is kind of like those internet security cameras where you can access the camera, the videos, as well as a live view from your phone, whether you're 10 feet away from your car or all the way across the country. So as long as your camera is somehow connected to the internet, whether it's with your phone or at your home Wi-Fi network, you can access it through the app here or even on the internet browser. So it doesn't matter if it's from your phone, your computer, or your tablet, you can view the live view as well as access the videos on your camera via the cloud. Now I find the cloud feature particularly useful, especially in parking mode, because then you can actually get a notification as the camera could detect the G motion in case your car gets hit or something and actually send you a notification to your phone saying someone hit your car. But of course, the cloud feature is only useful assuming your dashcam can connect to the internet. So if you're in the middle of the mall parking lot and your dashcam doesn't have an internet hotspot nearby, then of course the cloud feature isn't as useful as it could be. Nonetheless, it's free with your camera, so it's a nice extra feature to have. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do is install this onto my car. And we will be testing this out on a Toyota Highlander for those of you who have that particular model. Before installing the dash cam, one of the first things you want to figure out is where you're going to place your battery pack, or for those of you who pick up the Magic Box. For me, I'm going to place the battery inside the glove box here just because it's an easy place to hide it. I have enough room, and also the 12-volt power outlet is also right next to it, so it's an easy spot to snake or wire around. So here's what the battery pack looks like in my glove box. Tons of room still, it fits in perfectly, and I also have a towel underneath it to keep it from sliding around for now. But once I have all the cables and everything all set up, I'm going to remove the towel and place the adhesive that came with the battery pack so it can be stuck to the side wall of the glove box and stay there permanently. So next, the dash cam. You can see I have it mounted underneath the rear view camera here, which is the most ideal spot for any car. I snaked both wires right next to the black casing here along with the included cable clamps underneath the headliner, and once across the headliner I snaked the cable underneath the fabric cover along the A-pillar here. And then once I reach the weather stripping, you want to push the cable inwards as far as you can so the weather stripping can maintain its flushness against the fabric. And in my case, I'm going to have one cable going downwards towards the glove box and another cable going all the way back towards the rear view camera. Now there's more than enough cable length for my midsize SUV, so the extra that I did have, I hid it underneath the back plastic housing here in the back pillar. The entire process wasn't too terribly difficult, it was just a little bit tedious and time consuming. Probably took me an hour and an hour and a half to complete, but the best part of all this is I didn't need to take anything apart in my Toyota Highlander. And once you have it all installed, it looks like these dash cams, for the most part, look like they were part of the car. The only part of this dash cam setup where I have wires sticking out is for the rear view dash cam. The reason for that is because on my SUV, I have a powered liftgate. In addition, the Toyota Highlander also has a rear windshield that opens up as well, which is a pretty cool feature in itself. So basically, because of that, I do need to leave enough slack so the camera doesn't get pulled off by the wire. So first off, the aesthetics. BlackVue did an excellent job at designing these cameras in regards to the looks. They're compact, simple, basic, and they don't take up a whole lot of space on your windshield. In regards to video, both the front and rear dash cams can record at 1080p HD. In the dashcam market, that's really nothing new, but one unique feature about the front camera in the BlackVue is that it can record at 60 frames per second. And basically what that would translate into is not only higher video quality, but also if you ever need to slow down a video and capture a particular still image, it's going to be clearer and better quality that way. But that's enough talk. How about I show you guys some footage from the dashcam?
A lot of different causes and events.
Hey Mom, they're looking for foster homes for rescue animals. Can we help?
There's one place you can find out everything, including all the details. Because there's Community Calendar. If your job is to get the word out, think 1077 Today FM. Click on events at mystratfordnow.com and send us the details. It's free, then everyone can read and hear about it.
Proceed about 1 kilometer to Oxford Street East.
mystratfordnow.com. One visit and everybody knows.
Breaking up with your old phone or provider is easy with Mornington Communications. Right now, save $150 when you switch to the latest devices from Mornington. You get to keep your number, plus you'll enjoy local sales and service from real people that answer the phone.
In 800 meters, right turn onto Oxford Street East.
Locations on Downing Street in Stratford for details.
At mystratfordnow.com.
We're having a family walkathon this weekend to raise awareness for Perth County has a lot of different causes and events.
Hey Mom, they're looking for foster homes for rescue animals. Can we help?
There's one place you can find out everything, including all the details. Because there's Community Calendar. If your job is to get the word out, think 1077 Today FM. Click on events at mystratfordnow.com and send us the details. It's free, then everyone can read and hear about it.
Proceed about 1 kilometer to Oxford Street East.
mystratfordnow.com. One visit and everybody knows.
Breaking up with your old phone or provider is easy with Mornington Communications. Right now, save $150 when you switch to the latest devices from Mornington. You get to keep your number, plus you'll enjoy local sales and service from real people that answer the phone.
In 800 meters, right turn onto Oxford Street East.
Locations on Downing Street in Stratford for details.
So those are a couple clips of both the front and rear dash cam that I took during the day, and you can see the quality is pretty good, especially since it's coming out of a dash cam. The higher frame rate on the front dash cam at 60 FPS makes a big difference in terms of the video quality. It appears much more fluid and smoother, and it's one of those things where it's going to help you out in case you need to slow down a video. It's kind of like the slow-mo feature on the newer iPhones. When you capture the video, it's not going to appear all choppy, but still relatively smooth when you slow it down. Now we're going to take a look at some nighttime footage. You can see here the low light performance on the front dashcam is pretty exceptional, and this is all thanks to the new Sony Starvis sensor that is built into this model. Normally with consumer grade dashcams, even with the city streetlights on, many perform pretty poorly, resulting with darkened videos, but in this case, the night vision in the new Sony sensors make a night and day difference, especially when compared to BlackVue's previous model. This one here provides much better exposed video with seeing the road and surrounding neighborhood without too much extra exposure or oversaturating the whole clip. The rear camera is a different story. You can see it's darkened quite a bit, but the reason for that is because at night the cars behind you are going to be blasting their headlights against the back of your car, and the camera needs to compensate for that, and by lowering the exposure it can better show the car in the camera, such as the license plates or the person behind the windshield. Overall guys, my first impressions on the BlackVue dashcams after using them for a couple weeks now is pretty positive. At first I was a little bit worried about the compact design, particularly because it was missing an LCD screen. However, it's one of those things you realize that once you set the settings on the camera, you don't really need the screen anymore. It's a distraction in the windshield, and without the screen the camera is now less obstructive in the windshield, hidden better as it takes up less space, and if you really do need to watch a video, it's easier to connect your camera to your phone or grab it off the memory card into your computer. Video quality wise, it's up to par with cameras in this price range and with other major brands. The 60 frames per second is certainly a unique feature and makes a huge difference in the smoothness of the video quality, and a helpful addition to have when you need to slow videos down to capture a particular moment. I strongly recommend spending the extra on the 2-channel kit here just because it's a really valuable thing to have a rear dash cam, for example capturing potential rear enders or just adding to the story of what the front dash cam captures. The battery pack I showed you guys earlier is a nice option to take advantage of the dashcam's parking mode, which is basically recording while parked. My only gripe with the battery pack, however, is I do wish there was an option to charge it outside of the car, such as using USB. I find that short commutes just don't charge the battery enough to take advantage of the parking mode on the dashcams. Thus, I would recommend the Magic Power Pro, as it's an alternative for those of you with short commutes and want to take advantage of the parking mode on that camera. In terms of any cons or changes I would make with the camera, the only change I would really make is making a connector that's a little bit easier to pop in and out of. The connector that connects the rear dash cam to the front dash cam requires quite a bit of force to take off, and for those of you who are the type of person who like to take their GPS off their windshields, and in this case the dash cam, to deter any thieves, it would be a little bit nice to have an easier way to pop them off. In conclusion, I definitely recommend the BlackVue Dashcam. The 750 series model is a must-have for any driver. Having video tell you the story in case of an accident could save you more than what you paid for your dashcam, and serves as a peace of mind in case you fall victim to insurance fraud or a not-at-fault accident. Anyways, thanks for watching guys, hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments about this BlackVue Dashcam, ask away in the comment section there down below. Hit that like button as always helps me out, and I'll see you all in the next video.